The good news just continues to pour in for your Denver Broncos, as it is clear they have the guy and multiple guys that any other team in the NFL would kill to have, and they are your Denver Broncos. In this video, we're breaking down just the huge glow up that we have seen in a couple of positions who have already surpassed their 2024 totals, which is wild. Get more good news about the injury front as we go into next week against the Houston Texans. That and way more in this video. This is the place for diehard Denver Broncos. There's no surprise to us in what this team is doing because we've known it all along. And if you are all aboard, smash that like and subscribe button. Let's dive in here. So you know it is a good thing when you take a guy in the third round that every other NFL franchise laughs at because he put out workout tape of him blocking trees and hunting and doing crazy stuff at University of Whitewater. And there were actually guys in the front office who laughed at the Broncos selecting him at third, saying, oh, they fell for his marketing ploy of putting out these social media videos. And now you have other teams saying, I was banging the table. I wanted that guy all along. And you're seeing 49ers content creators coming out there saying, man, why did we select anyone else over Quinn Meinerz? We see on this play just an incredible amount of effort, and it is hard to not lose your mind as he pancakes not one, not two, but three Dallas Cowboys defenders. Like, you'd be pumped enough about that first, just like, whoop, sit down, boy. But he goes again, and you sit down too, and you for good measure, let's just throw one more in there. That, of course, is on RJ Harvey's huge run there that really set the tone for that game. And it was at that point that I'm like, man, if we can get going with RJ Harvey in this run game, the Dallas Cowboys absolutely do not have a chance. So obviously, Quinn Meinerz is a guy anyone else would want. Then on top of that, you got Garrett Bolles, who is playing at truly an all-pro level this year. We heard him in the offseason say he wanted to win that new award, which was for the Defender of the Year award, like defending the quarterback. That's not what it's called. I'll look up what it's called. But he is in line to win the best NFL offensive lineman this year with what he has done. So you're now looking 2 games in a row where he has not allowed a single pressure on Bo Nix. And we know Bo Nix is so elusive that even if he gets pressured, he's going to find a way out of it. His pressure rate right now is 0.9%. So if he has 100 rushes against him, you're getting in less than 1% of the time. That is absolutely demoralizing. He's doing it without the holds. I'm so happy that the Denver Broncos did not give up on Garrett Bolles after hearing holding number 72 far too often. He has outpaced anything that we'd even hope for him, even selecting him as a first rounder. He is playing at an all-pro level, and the best is yet to come for him. Now we get into this territory where you have so many guys who we never gave up on, who is just outshining what they did last year. And so I love here seeing Mile High Mims has pointed out all of these glow-ups for Denver Broncos, and I'm loving them. So the first one, Troy Franklin, had 2 amazing touchdowns yesterday. He did have a drop on the sideline, but he is really rounding into form. And watch out when he and Bo Nix start getting this type of chemistry. It is going to be impossible to stop. We saw at the end of last season that bomb to him in Buffalo in the playoffs, and that was really the high point of the day for us. But Bo Nix and him are connecting now, and you're seeing last year, he had 28 total receptions, less than 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns the entire season. We're not even halfway through right now, and he already has 33 receptions, so way more than he had last year, way more yards than he had last year, and he already has 4 touchdowns. The glow-up continues as now we see J.K. Dobbins have more rush yards, not even halfway through the season, than any running back on the Broncos last season. It is absolutely wild that seeing right now he has 634 yards rushing the ball, which is third best in the NFL, which is a fantastic number to have. Last year, Javonte Williams had 513 total yards in the entire season. And so you're seeing, whoa, our running back room is all of a sudden dangerous, right? Like you add in him and J.K. Dobbins, you are easily going to have 2,000 yards rushing between those two as the season goes. And I think if this type of thing continues for J.K. Dobbins, we're going to have our first 1,000-yard rusher since Phillip Lindsay, which is amazing. Then seeing Evan Engram already outpacing our entire tight end room from last season. And really, he's sat out games with a back injury and was kind of a slow roll because that back injury really hampered him, especially for that game in London. But we are finally starting to see what Evan Engram is going to be and why Sean Payton thinks that he is the Joker. So you absolutely love to see that. On top of it, Bo Nix, you guys, is the truth. And even the national media who was saying he was having a sophomore slump, nobody is saying that anymore. I'm hearing everyone and their mom talk about how Drake May is the MVP of the league right now. But you just look here, and even though he was the laughing stock of that draft class, and everyone was laughing that Sean Payton picked him because he had a playbook and a lacrosse ball to roll out his IT band in his backpack at the draft interview, you were seeing what Sean Payton saw, and he said all it took was seeing 12 throws of Bo Nix at Pro Day, and he knew he was his guy, and you are now seeing him just blowing away the lead when it comes to the total touchdowns for this draft class, which was supposed to be this amazing draft class of rookie quarterbacks, and again, you're seeing him be the top of the class, even though everyone's saying, oh, Drake May is great, Jaden Daniels is great, Bo Nix is even greater, and it's a cold, hard fact that he is going to be the best quarterback out of this draft class, and I'm not even hedging when I say that. And one of the things that drives me the most nuts about people clamoring that Bo Nix is on a sophomore slump, it's truly just to back up their bad draft takes. They are so embarrassed about how wrong they were at the NFL draft, which Sean Payton said they were going to be wrong, and they were, that they try to defend that by crapping on our team. And here's the deal. Bo Nix has thrown 18 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Any other team in football would kill for that ratio. To be 6-2, to be in first place in the AFC West right now with our entire future out in front of us. The Broncos are going to be gunning for a home playoff game for the first time in a decade. And they're trying to excuse all of that away by saying, oh, he isn't playing good teams. Bo Nix has played good teams and gone head-to-head with them this year, and you're going to find out real quick when we play the Chiefs at home in just a few weeks how good this Broncos team truly is. Well, your Denver Broncos just did it. They went undefeated in the month of October, and my undefeated snacking champion is Chomps. It is something that is a go-to far before I even had them as a sponsor of the show. We are talking about just the perfect portable snacking option for any situation. My life is absolutely wild. I have 4 kids who played fall sports. I had a very busy actual full-time job. I'm trying to make as much content covering our favorite team as possible, and Chomps went with me every step of the way. They were in my car when we were driving to game days. They were in my kid's bag before sports. They were in my work bag. Between meetings, I would chomp on a chomp. And why do we love it so much? First off, they taste absolutely phenomenal. You have a lot of fantastic flavors. Smoky barbecue is absolutely my favorite. 10 grams of protein, you know it's going to fill you up and feel good. There's 0 added sugar, which is a huge thing for me and my family. Do yourself a favor and pick up some Chomps. You will not regret it. You can get them in the link in my description or at 30,000 stores nationwide, but you don't go wrong when you chomp on a Chomps. All of these people are saying, oh, Bo Nix does well against bad teams, and yet at the same time, the New England Patriots have the easiest schedule in the entire NFL. Bo Nix has gone up against way better defenses this year than Drake May has, and yet he is still lockstep with him and playing better, and probably has less offensive weapons around him than Drake May has. So I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing out of Bo Nix. And he's not only good on the field, which we saw yesterday on full display, he's an even better dude off of the field. I love this, one of his best touchdown passes that I've seen. And what does he go and do right away? His number one priority after he throws this amazing touchdown pass to Pat Bryant in the back of the end zone is to go and get that ball from the referee before they throw it back on the sideline. He gets the ball and he presents his rookie with his first ever touchdown ball, and that is the type of leadership that you don't see Caleb Williams run over with his painted nails and get a ball for a rookie who just caught it. He is a team-first guy, and that culture eats strategy and talent for breakfast, and Sean Payton has built this winning culture where dudes are for each other. I couldn't help but notice in the post-game press conference yesterday, half of the players are wearing shirts honoring other players on the team. I see Riley Moss wearing a Nick Benito shirt. I see Talanoa Hufanga wearing a Bo Nix shirt early on in the season. And then yesterday, I think he was wearing a Pat Surtain shirt. And so this team is for each other. And it's Bo Nix really following the model that was set for him. I love this here. Can't Guard Court put this tweet out there, which was a picture of Bo Nix getting his first touchdown ball presented to him. I think this was the Jets game in that monsoon. He ran threw his first touchdown, and Cortland Sutton, even though he was hungry for a touchdown, grabbed the ball and presented it to Bo Nix. And then you just see that legacy being handed off here as Bo Nix hands this ball off to Pat Bryant. It just kind of gives you chills there. That culture stems down and it comes from the top down, and I love the culture that Sean Payton has built here with the Denver Broncos. Absolutely love to see it. Now, the defensive performance that we saw yesterday, I think we all should still be in awe of it. That you could, explain away the Broncos just beating up on a bad defense. But this offense, guys, was get your popcorn ready. This is the most explosive offense in football. And you see going into the last 4 games that Dak was on a real heater, that he'd thrown 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. When I was watching the CBS broadcast before the game, there was not a single analyst who picked the Broncos to actually win that game. You saw Nick Wright go out and say the Broncos are going to lose to the Dallas Cowboys. The Broncos are fool's gold. And now we're getting no credit for that win, but like we yesterday held Dak Prescott to 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and that is just how phenomenal this defense is playing right now. Seeing Bo Nix's passing chart coming out today was amazing to see that, oh, look at us using this entire field, and Tony Romo even commented on it, and he's like, he's one of them ones that if the outside is double teamed, he uses the inside. Look at all of these dots, not down, not captain check down, like we see a couple passes, like screen passes here, but the bulk of them are far down, and seeing that he's throwing touchdowns to the middle of the field. This was his touchdown to Troy Franklin. He would have had another one right here to Cortland Sutton that was dropped there, but love Bo Nix's just throwing the ball all over the place and connecting. Phenomenal there. And really a Sean Payton appreciation post here that he has changed everything. And if you have a quarterback and a coach who are in lockstep, you have everything in the NFL. It's why the Patriots are so hyped right now with Vrabel and Drake May, because any other team in the NFL would kill to have a quarterback and coach combo. I'm telling you that 90% of teams in the NFL would trade places with us. They might have a quarterback in place but don't have the coach. They might have the coach in place but have no hope at a quarterback. We have both of the key elements to making deep playoff runs and winning Super Bowls, and I couldn't be more hyped for it. Now, Sean Payton had his press conference today. He did not give any updates on the Pat Surtain injury. That is something we have to keep a very, very close eye on. We should know more on that by Wednesday. The number that I had heard is that this could probably be a 2-week injury, taking us up into that Chiefs game, that he is probably going to be out again. He's going to be out this week for the Texans, and then on the Thursday night football game for the Raiders, and then he'll have that nice little extended rest before the Chiefs come back. But there is a doctor out there on Twitter who is saying that he wonders if it wasn't actually a shoulder injury, but instead a pectoral injury, which could either be a strain or it could be a full tear. If it's a tear, he's going to have to do surgery, which we will hear about shortly, and would probably miss the rest of the season. So that's what we have to hope against. I think if that were the case, that he was out for the year, we would have heard by now. But, just the other day we were talking about, should the Broncos trade Chris Abrams-Drain for another wide receiver? Seeing how Chris Abrams-Drain filled in for him yesterday makes me very, very happy that that did not happen. The silver lining to all of this is you're not worried about needing Patrick Surtain against the Raiders on the Thursday night football game. And then the Texans are probably going to be without their star wide receiver, Nico Collins. And so it's kind of like what the Lions had last week where they played Tampa Bay. They were missing their entire secondary, but because Tampa Bay was missing so many of their receivers, it kind of evened out there. So I think of all times in the season to be missing Pat Surtain, let's just pray that it is only for these next 2 games. And of all times in the season, this is the time to have something like that happen. Broncos country, this team is absolutely loaded to bear with guys that any other team in the NFL would kill to have, and they are your Denver Broncos, and that's why we're making a deep playoff run, and that's why we have so much to believe in. Hi, sorry, I had a shoulder injury on that play.